Kim Sirius is back and he's got a brilliant water-saving sprinkler. Shirley from LA is going to give you some edible gardening tips, and look, the whole program is packed full of great advice. So let's not talk about it, let's get on with the show.
Digging around.
I wanted to say a huge thank you to all of our viewers for your support. You know, the Garden Gurus is a small team. We're all about creating programs that are full of innovation and great ideas, helping you have a beautiful garden. And I promise you, it's not hard to do. We've had so much feedback, and our Facebook page and email has been red hot with friends sending us pictures of their great gardens. One friend, Celia, invited us over, and the garden looks so good, I thought, why not? Well, Celia, thanks for showing us around your garden. How long have you been here?
7 years now, yeah.
Is it hard to garden in a sandy soil like this?
Well, I actually think it's easier than, say, having a really heavy clay soil.
Yeah.
Because so long as you do your preparation, the mulching, and put your fertiliser and then put your water on, I think you get quite a good control.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Now, your garden's an interesting mix of exotic plants and natives. You seem to have the best of both worlds.
Yes, when we arrived, there were sort of lots of seagrass trees, and they were still here, along with a few banksias and parrot bush. And I just sort of wove the garden in between them.
You've got a lot of features here, a beautiful pond area and that beautiful deck and platform area that you've got to look over it. Who was behind that idea?
Frank, my husband, he'd got this little orange tractor, and the tractor went for a couple of days, and I looked out the window from the kitchen and I could see this hole getting bigger and bigger. Anyway, so there was this huge hole and it went around with tributary, and it was all very creative.
Tell me, what's your favourite part of the garden?
Probably around the pond. Yeah, yes.
Just a nice place to get back and relax.
That's right, yeah.
Actually, you've got some lovely little spots. I noticed just behind us there's a great little day bed there. Is that an Indonesian style day bed?
It is, yes.
So do you get out here and read a book quietly?
Well, I must admit, I don't get much time for reading, but I sit down for half an hour and think, right, now I've got to go and do something.
That's what all us gardeners do, because we're looking at the next opportunity, things to do.
That's right. There's always something else to plant.
So, Celia, I noticed that you've got a number of very beautiful bougainvilleas located around the property. And I can see there's a big bougainvillea garden up the back. Would you mind taking us for a walk through a bit later on in the show?
Yes, I'd love to.
Earlier in the program, we showed you Celia and Frank Papworth's garden. Celia, I've noticed the property's got a lot of beautiful bougainvilleas all around. It's got some history, hasn't it?
Yes, well, it started out as a bougainvillea nursery, and these around here were all planted as our stock plants, so I take cuttings from them. And there's some of the bigger ones that have been here for now 20, 30 years.
They're huge, absolutely. And that's how people sort of imagine bougainvilleas, but they're not all like that. This is a good example.
Yes, and this is one of the dwarf ones, or the small ones. This is a bambino.
And
this is Ziggy.
Ziggy.
Yes.
Easy to care for?
Very easy, yes. Just alternate water and fertilise, prune, and keep the cycle going.
Wow, this is beautiful, Celia.
Isn't it? I mean, it's come out a little earlier, this one. It's just beautiful cover, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems to be a really lovely compact plant.
Yeah, well, that's right. They are. The nice thing about bougainvilleas is that they love the sun. Trim them to the shape you want.
Yep.
You'll get a beautiful mass of colour. I really don't think there's anything better in terms of brilliance of colour than a bougainvillea.
Just radiant, aren't they?
Yes.
I would imagine that as summer goes on, these just get better too.
They do. They don't wilt in the sun, and at the end of the summer, when everything else is sort of exhausted, the first shower of rain, and they just pop up in a blaze of colour again.
Fantastic. Celia, thank you so much for showing us around your garden. I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Well, how is this for a lovely garden? You know, this is what Facebook's all about, sharing your inspiration. And if you want to share your garden photos, well, why don't you visit our Facebook site and post them? I'd love to see them, and I'm sure all of our friends would as well. Well, that's it for tonight's show. We hope you enjoyed it. We have one more show for this series, and it is packed full of brilliant gardening advice and a whole bunch of really groovy things that you should have in your garden shed. And if you don't, well, we're going to give you a really good excuse to treat yourself for Christmas time, or maybe somebody special. I'm Trevor Cochran. We'll look forward to seeing you again really soon for the Garden Gurus.